Okay, I didn't plan this video out because I just realized that I needed a video for this week. I thought I was only filming one video, but it turns out I'm filming two. So we're just gonna do our best. Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna be talking about how to get into cosplay. I get a lot of people in my comment section being like, I want to be a cosplayer, but I don't know where to start. And I think that's very valid because cosplay is a huge thing. There are many different aspects of cosplay, like wig styling and sewing and posing and photography and editing, and there's just so many different things. And so I'm going to talk to you guys about how to get into cosplay, what I personally use for like getting wigs, editing photos, getting my photo taken, stuff like that, to try and help you guys kind of get your foot in the door and start cosplaying. The first thing I want to say about cosplay is that you shouldn't worry about like the industry side of it. Cosplay at its heart is a hobby, it is a creative outlet, and it is an art form. And it's all about having fun. If you're not having fun, you should take yourself aside and kind of analyze why you're doing it. Don't worry about becoming super famous. Don't worry about being an amazing cosplayer right off the bat. Don't worry about having amazing high quality photos right off the bat. All this stuff takes time and experience, and it's totally fine to start off with like cell phone photos of a simple cosplay and work your way up. That's where we all start. I'll put some photos of my first cosplay. It was what it was, right? Like I didn't start being a cosplayer at the level that I'm at now. I've been cosplaying for 13 years, and throughout 13 years I've learned a lot, I've developed a lot, and I've had a lot of practice. So you can't compare me to someone who's just started. So don't compare like yourself to someone like me who's been doing it for 13 years. Just compare yourself to yourself, and don't worry about, again, becoming super famous and super amazing right off the bat. Just focus on having fun and cosplaying characters that mean a lot to you and series that mean a lot to you, because that's really what it's all about at its core. Where do you cosplay? So you usually cosplay at photo shoots or conventions. Photo shoots usually are not as fun as conventions because it's just you in your backyard taking photos. So I definitely recommend, if you're looking for like a really fun place to wear your first cosplay, definitely have a certain convention in mind. How do we figure out what conventions are happening in our area? So how I learn about conventions is I usually just know about them through the grapevine. So when you've been in a certain community for a long time, you learn about events from other cosplayers. If you're new to cosplay, obviously you don't have that social circle yet, you're not part of the grapevine. So in that case, and this is what I do when I'm looking at conventions to go to in a new city, because obviously I'm not part of the community in that city, is I just Google it. You can literally just Google anime conventions and then the city name, or comic conventions, city name. There's also sites like animecons.com, which is super helpful. They literally list all the different anime conventions in a certain area. So it's very helpful. You just have like a nice list of conventions that are in your area, and you can kind of pick and choose from there. And then as you go to more conventions, you might meet new people, and those people might know of events that you don't know about, and you can learn about them that way. So that is how you go to conventions. I have a whole convention going for beginners video, which I will link up in the eye as well as in the description. I also have a what I pack for anime conventions video, which I'll also link in the same places. So if you're looking for specific tips about what to bring to a convention, how to go to a convention, what to expect at a convention, I definitely recommend watching those videos, and I won't kind of go over the same things that I went over in those videos in this video, because that would be kind of redundant, and we want to keep this video its own thing. So that's how we do conventions. How about making your first cosplay? So when you're making your first cosplay, you want to, first of all, assess your personal strengths. So can you sew? Can you craft? Can you wig style? Think about your personal strengths and personal skills. and try and find a project that caters to that. So maybe you're really good at thrifting. So in that case, find a character that you could maybe thrift their outfit. If you're starting cosplay completely fresh, you've never sewn before, you've never made clothes before, I strongly recommend finding an outfit that you can thrift and alter, because altering a costume is much easier than making it from scratch. And from there, you can kind of build up your skills and build up your experience and eventually make your own costume. But if you haven't sewn before, don't worry about making your first cosplay like completely from scratch right off the gate. Off the gate, out of the gate. You're not on the gate. You're coming out of the gate. I like to do this thing called the 5-piece rule for first-time cosplayers. This is what I like to recommend, and that is finding a character that has 5 pieces to their outfit. So if you're doing Mabel, for example, you have the socks, shoes, skirt, sweater, headband. And that's 5 pieces to her outfit, not including the wig. We won't worry about the wig. But the actual outfit has 5 pieces. That's a nice and easy cosplay to start off with. It's also very easily thriftable, and all you have to do is alter it. That's a great way to practice sewing. These are little things you can do to kind of practice sewing before you jump into your first full sewing project. So that's what I recommend doing for your first cosplay. I also have a beginner cosplay tip video where I talk about this same kind of thing, so I'll have that linked up there and down there for you to check out. That might be helpful for some of you. The other thing that I will say is that if you need to learn anything about cosplay, like whether it's wig styling or sewing or crafting or whatever, the internet is absolutely your best friend. And you can pretty much find any resource that you need on the internet. So you can learn how to sew, you can learn how to wig style, you can learn how to make armor. You can really learn how to do anything by just a simple YouTube or Google search. So use that to your advantage. It was not like that when I first started back in, what was the year? 2009. 2009, we didn't have this like plethora of tutorials, so you were really on your own when it came to making things for cosplay, but it's much easier nowadays. So I definitely recommend taking full advantage of that. Let's talk about wigs. Where do I get my wigs from? So I typically get my wigs from 2 different places, either Epic Cosplay Wigs or Arta Wigs. Specifically Arta Wigs Canada, because I am in Canada. There are many other wig retailers out there that are definitely good, but when it comes to like my go-to wig sellers, it's definitely Epic Cosplay Wigs and Arta Wigs Canada. These are websites that are meant for cosplayers, so they are made for cosplayers by cosplayers. They are on the expensive side, but they are the ones that I go to when I'm looking for like a reliable wig. You're getting a wig that's going to be stylable, it's going to be heat resistant, it's going to be thick, it's going to be accurate color-wise, and it's going to have the selection that you expect for various cosplays. How do you get your cosplay photos taken? There are many different ways and many different avenues that you can go down to get your cosplay photos taken. You can take your own cosplay photos by using your phone's camera. I personally have a Canon camera that has an app that you can use, and you basically set up on a tripod, you set up your phone on like a phone stand, and then you tap on it to make it focus, and then you hit the self-timer button and it takes the photo for you, and it shows you what the photo is going to look like as you're taking it. So it's very convenient to take cosplay photos that way. Here's an example of some photos that I've taken of myself. I'm very happy with them. I've also taken photos on my phone, so here are some examples of photos that I've taken on my phone. If you don't have access to a fancy camera for taking your own photos, you can totally use your phone. That is a totally valid way to take your cosplay photos, and it is also totally possible to take your own photos without a cosplay photographer. Just get yourself a good ring light and have at it. If you're looking for photographers, typically you just find them through networking. So you'll go to a convention and you'll maybe meet a photographer and then befriend that photographer and then work with them at some point in the future. When I'm looking for a photographer, I usually just go to my friends. I literally just get a friend, I give them my camera, and they take photos of me, and then I in exchange take photos of them. And that is the most common way that I get my cosplay photos taken. Let's talk about editing photos. So editing photos, I use a combination of Photos, which is the free macOS photo storing program and editor, and then I use a very old version of Photoshop. If you can't afford Photoshop, you can also use stuff like GIMP. There are many other alternatives to Photoshop. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Photoshop alternative is. There are many different photo editors out there. There are apps, there are computer programs. There are many different ways to edit your photos. It really just comes down to finding the one that's best for you. I can't really speak to other programs or apps because I don't really use apps for photo editing, but I can say that using Photos and Photoshop or GIMP works really well. So that's what I personally recommend. And those are kind of the basics for how to get into cosplaying. If you have any other questions about cosplaying or like how to get into cosplay, please by all means leave them in the comments, and I can make a future video talking more about that stuff, because I'm trying to like cover my bases and talk about things that I think would be helpful if you're first getting into cosplay, but I might have missed some things. So be sure to let me know, and I can do a follow-up video to this and just help in whatever way I can. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you are new here and you'd like to see more videos like this, I put out new nerdy and cosplay related videos every Sunday, and it'd be awesome to have you here, so feel free to subscribe to see more. And don't forget to hit that bell notification to be notified every time I put out a new video. As always, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all next time. But until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!